Hey everyone, thanks for dropping by. Bronze Dragon here. About a month ago, I did a report on the new user interface going live in Atlas Earth in South Africa. Well, they did a gradual rollout across the month, and it's finally live. I can say I got it today in the United States. But if you've been paying attention to various social media, especially the official Atlas Earth Reddit, you'll know that people have very divisive opinions on this update. Some say, well, this was needed for landmarks to come out. And the other people on the other side of the fence say, this looks like a cheap rendition of the game made in Microsoft Paint. So what I did was I took the last few hours of my day and I went through these various sources and I came up with the top 5 likes and top 5 dislikes about the new user interface. And we're going to dig into that in this episode. I'm also going to give my feelings, my takeaways on it. And also, don't forget to leave your opinions in the show notes. With that said, let's dive in. Now, these likes are in no particular order because there's really no way to create that. It's just the top 5 things that I saw people talking about as far as in the pro or in the plus side, positively affecting the game. First thing, the biggest win, transparency. The new user interface clearly displays your exact points and progress for the monthly challenge ladder. No more jumping back and forth to menus to see if you've hit your next reward tier, and no more guessing. Do I have to do 2 more challenges or do I have to do 2 more mini games? The second big like I heard amongst all the conversations was the fact that you now have your parcel count front and center on your player info page. There's no more jumping out of a game using your calculator on your phone, whatnot, just to calculate your if you're getting close to your tier jumps. It's right there. The next thing is the decluttering of the user interface. By moving the mayor and the president profile pics down to the corner, the map actually feels a little bit more open. You can actually see the land you're standing on without a giant avatar or the verbiage blocking your view. The fourth item on my list is the Diamond Collection visibility. I guess that's the best term I can put on it. There's a weird gap at the top of the screen, which I've talked about before, and I did figure out why it's there, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Some hate it though, but passengers are actually finding it easier to spot oncoming diamonds while moving at speed in a car because there's more lead time on the map, so you can see them coming. I think even the critics admit that this change was necessary. The original UI was put together and people came to love it, but it was originally almost a proof of concept and it needed fixing, and this was the best way to go about it. I'm not saying I fully like this, but it needed to happen, I think, for the foundation to happen for the landmarks and other changes they have in mind. I guess you could just look at this as a growing pains type phase. Okay, let's be real here. The list of people complaining about the new user interface is much longer than the people who showed up on social media and talked about the likes. But that's usually the case on social media. Usually the people that are complaining have the loudest voices. With that said, here are the top 5 dislikes or gripes that I found about the new user interface. Number 1, the washed out autumn palette. The number 1 complaint I found is about the colors. Players are calling it washed out, dull, eye straining. The vibrant greens and blues are gone, and they're replaced by a yellowish brown that many say looks like that old song said, pave paradise and put up a parking lot. Number 2, texture clashing. If you own a legendary parcel upgrade, it looks weird now. The LPU textures still use the old grass style, which clashes horribly with the new overworld art style. It makes your premium land look like a visual glitch. Next up, we have performance lag and battery drain. Despite being a quote-unquote modern update, a huge chunk of the community is reporting significant lag, especially on mid-tier Android devices. Some players say the app locks up after 60 seconds or turns their phone into a heater. And this was one of the reasons why I thought they were doing the update to make it easier on a greater variety of devices so more people across the world could play it. Apparently, there needs to be some work done. Fourth, we have the fact that some people just don't like the cartoonish aesthetic. Many people feel that the game now looks like a generic light version of a children's game that you would find on the App Store. Veteran players who liked the rigidity and seriousness of the old user interface feel that the game has lost its unique soul. And lastly, I made number 5 on my list of top 5 dislikes about the new UI overhaul, is the lack of dark mode. With all these new bright whites and light yellows, the community is begging for a dark mode. Playing this in bed at night is now officially like getting a flashbang to the face. So that's the word on the street, so to speak. But what do I think about it? I think I agree with the general masses. It's a mixed bag. I know it needed to happen. I was hoping that some things would look better than what they do. But on the bright side, I really liked the rebranding and the relayout of the shop tab and the events listing. The layout there is much more eye-pleasing and it's easy. It has more flow. It's easier to navigate through and compared to the old list, right? I also think I figured out why there's that strange gap at the top, and I didn't figure it out until I picked up my phone. On my phone, and I have an iPhone, there is a little portion right up there that is where your camera and your speaker is, and that is why the top bar is set down to make room for that. Otherwise, there would be a big black space right there on the money bar, and it would obfuscate, your rent going up. So that was a big aha moment for me because I've been talking about that, and I'll be real. I'll give him props. I've been talking bad about that drop down because I thought there was too much space at the top, but that's the reason on an iPhone anyway. But, and this is a big but for me, the big minus or the big bad takeaway for me is the text. The new text and the fonts and the downsizing of the text and the way it's done is much harder to read for an older guy with glasses or even a younger person with glasses. I would hazard a guess that this is much harder to read for anybody. And, it could be borderline frustrating. I know I'm not even going to be able to read the feed. Not that I read it a whole lot without my glasses on. And some of the other screens, I'll be doing my best just to be able to get around in game if I roll over in bed to grab my phone and get blinded by the new color palette. And the one other thing, obviously, it's something that can be worked on in the future, but those legendary trees really seem like a downgrade compared to what we had. They're kind of multiple shades of oranges and browns, and it kind of looks like a fungus you find in an alien video game. Definitely a downgrade. Obviously, any of this artwork, as we go along, can be changed and upgraded, and they've done that. They've shown that over the years, upgrading the artwork, so I hope that's the direction that goes in. At the end of the day, Atlas Earth 2.0 is a work in progress. They've proven over the years that they've worked on the art and made it better and such, so we can just cross our fingers on that. It's got some real UTI energy going where people are like, I don't want it, but I've got to deal with it. And then you've got some people over here that could care less about the artwork. They're just here for the money, so they don't really care. Let's hope they get it all figured out with the textures and everything before the official launch of Landmarks. And here's something interesting to think about. What would you think of a switch that would switch back and forth between legacy mode and the new mode? I'm not saying that was even mentioned. In fact, I think that's a small percentage chance of ever happening, the way they work things. But it was just an idea that a number of people have brought up. So this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And hey, let me know in the comments what you think of these new UI changes. I'll see you in Atlas Earth.